Why would you want to be healthy, fit and strong? What would be the motivation to move your body every day so that you've got strong muscles and bones, so you've got a fast metabolism, you can eat whatever you want to, you've got great self-esteem so nobody can pull you down, or even if they criticise you or nasty to you, it doesn't affect you. You don't get sick, you don't have the horrible critical, yucky diseases that are killing people now from inactivity. What a great reason to be healthy, fit and strong. For me, that's the ultimate motivation. I don't want the opposite. So if you want to be fat, sick, weak, diseased, have no energy, stop fitting into your clothes, have horrible hair, skin and nails, and get all the chronic diseases like coronary heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, depression, all those yucky things that happen when you're not healthy, fit and strong, that's a good reason not to exercise, not to move your body. If you could buy in a pill, literally you could go to the shop and buy something that stopped you from getting old, stopped your bones from rotting away, gave you a fast metabolism and helped you to feel fantastic every day, and every part of your life was better because you took this pill, would most people buy it? And we know that is true, they would, because the biggest selling drug in the world right now is a fat loss drug, a weight loss drug. I wish it was a fat loss drug actually, because technically at least 30% of the weight that you lose when you go on a weight loss drug comes from muscle. And muscle is the engine in your body, and if you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down and you look old. People who lose muscle look old. Have a look at old people that aren't fat. They're all decrepit. They're hunched over and they can't do anything because they're weak and frail. Well, that's what happens when you lose muscle. And when you go on a weight loss drug, you lose muscle really quickly. I'm using that as an example that the pill of movement, and I won't even use the word exercise because most people think that exercise is long and boring. And if you study anatomy and physiology and how the human body works, you'll now know that to get fit and to get strong requires you to get puffed and to lift heavy. In the energy system where you use your energy at 100% effort, and to me that's just common sense. If you put in 50% effort, you get a 50% result. If you put in 100% effort, you get a 100% result, which means getting puffed and lifting heavy at 100%, and that energy system only takes 10 seconds. I'm sharing that because is there a better pill than that? Most people don't do any exercise zero, so the closest to zero has got to be 10 seconds, but 10 seconds gives you the best result. It gets you fittest quickest, it gets you strongest quickest, it's giving you the least chance of injury because it's so short. It changes your brain chemistry so you feel good, and if your brain is feeling good and operating more effectively, isn't it possible that the rest of your life will be better? Could that be a great reason to exercise? And I'll take away again the word exercise, just to get really fit and get really strong. So it's really cold tonight. I'm taking the dogs out for a run. It's obviously there's a cold breeze. We're going to get really puffed because we do hill sprints, me and the dogs. And I don't need motivation for that. Apart from the fact that 10 seconds is really short, and that's about how long it takes us to sprint up the hill that we use. The motivation comes from the outcome, comes from the result. So here's a great question to ask. If I don't get fit and strong, what will happen? If I'm not fit and strong right now, what will happen? Because we don't stay the same. If you think you're doing okay at the moment, but you're not doing anything to stay fit and strong, you won't stay that way. The body rots away. Isn't that a delightful thing to think about? Sarcopenia and osteoporosis are rotting of the bones and the muscles. They rot away if you don't use them. And as humans, we sit a lot. We don't do very much anymore. We eat food that's not even food anymore. It's got so many chemicals in it, we can't even pronounce the name of the chemical. Good idea to read labels. And just as a side note, often when people say to me, Rowie, what should I eat? Tell me what should be in the food on the label. And I just suggest, well, perhaps eat less food with labels. Eat some more real food. Eat some stuff that either grows in the ground or runs on the ground or both. Such simple concept. Get puffed, lift heavy, eat real food. And is it possible that if your brain's working more effectively because of that, you'll make better decisions anyway about every area of your life? So where does the motivation come from? And it's interesting because a lot of people say, well, when I'm motivated, I'll go and do. Well, tonight's cold and it's almost dark and it's been a really busy day and I've had lots of things on. I could very easily sit on the couch and do nothing. And then I can say, well, I'm not motivated. But I use this every single time. What if I couldn't? What if I didn't have legs that worked? What if I couldn't go out to exercise because something was stopping me? Now, I wouldn't let anything stop me because I know plenty of people that have no legs that are still really fit and really strong. But you could use a whole heap of excuses for not doing, or just one reason for doing. I don't want to be fat, sick, weak and diseased. I want to be healthy, fit, strong, lean and energetic for the rest of my life. So what do I need to do that? And I'll use the pill example again. If there was a pill that could give you healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic body for the rest of your life, I think the world would buy it and would take it. You wouldn't come up with a reason not to. I'll give you another fun example. If you had an appointment every week where somebody or something was going to give you $1,000 cash, we used to use ATMs as an example. If you turned up at an ATM and every week at the same time that ATM would dispense $1,000 to you, would you ever miss the session? Would you ever go, no, it's too hot, too cold, I'm too busy, I'm not going to go? I think you'd go because there's a reward. Well, I think that the reward of a healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic body for the rest of your life is far more important than the $1,000. And if you've got a healthy, fit, strong, lean, energetic body, is it possible that it would be much easier to earn $1,000? You can hear it in my voice. I don't need motivating to be healthy, fit and strong because I know what happens to a body that isn't. And if you look in your mirror and you don't like what you see, if you wake up in the morning and you don't have a stack of energy, if you're not performing at your best all the time and whatever you're doing isn't giving you the life that you want, could it be time to change? Could that be great motivation? And I'm standing here with my solar lights almost dark. I love this time of the night because this is when the solar lights all come on. And I love them for a reason. I love that they're pretty, of course, but the biggest motivation for me for having solar lights in my garden is that they suck up the sun during the day and then they shine brightly in the night time. All energy comes from the sun. So fresh air, sunshine, get fit, get strong. And of course you can't get a fit, strong body if you don't have the energy to do it. And all energy comes from the sun because all food grows with the energy from the sun, all good food anyway. Solar lights are the classic example of a beautiful human being. Suck up the sun during the day and shine brightest when everybody else is dull, boring, dark, depressed and miserable. Night time for most people is dark. At my house it's obviously very bright because my whole garden is filled up with solar lights. I want to be the solar light in everybody's life, particularly my own. I want to suck up the sun during the day, create a stack of energy and be bright and happy and positive when everybody else is gloomy. I am committed every day to being self-motivated, self-inspired, self-disciplined, self-educated and loving my life. How about you? That's a personal choice. You don't have to live like me, but the beautiful thing is that all of those self-words are a choice. You can choose to be self-motivated, self-inspired, self-driven, self-disciplined, self-educated, and you can choose to live your life to the max. Isn't that awesome? Live your life to the max. Check out my garden. Look at my solar lights. They're just gorgeous. They're all coming on. Woo! Look at that. Bright, even in the night time. Woohoo! I think there's about 3 or 4 acres of solar lights. Wow.